Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me Gamerturk coming at you with a review. A review I was going to do 3 months ago but haven't for some reason. Anyway, today I will be looking back at the game I completed on my channel back in December. Yes, Sonic Heroes. This game has a special place in my heart. It was my second main Sonic title after I played Sonic 3D Blast early in my childhood. Of course, Sonic was my favorite game series, but back then my only gaming device was a Game Boy Advance, so my main exposure to the franchise was the Advance trilogy. Internet being not all that common in our lives with expensive and slow dial-up connections at the time, I wasn't aware of other Sonic titles like the classics or adventures. All I knew was what I saw at the stores, occasionally when I go to a store, so you can imagine my excitement when I launched my first full 3D Sonic experience. But of course that nostalgia is irrelevant now. The 9-year-old me and the 22-year-old me today have different perspectives, different opinions, different standards. Add the 13 years of advancement in gaming making us more intolerant towards even the littlest negative thing in a game, and we are looking at a much different review than I would have made when I was a little child. Sonic Heroes, released in December 2003 in Japan and in 2004 worldwide, was the first main Sonic title to be released after Sega pulling out of home console development, and was available on a number of platforms. I got the PC version on a CD, and there hasn't been a single re-release yet, not even a Steam re-release, so that's pretty much the only way you can get this game on PC. But let's do this like I do all reviews, start with the story. Here's a spoiler warning for those who never played this game in the last 13 years. Similar to the adventure titles prior to it, Heroes also has multiple storylines. Although the storytelling is similar with different story branches, the overall tone is much more different, much more game-like rather than the highly story-driven Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. The game is focused on team-based gameplay, which I'll get back to when I talk about that aspect, and we have 4 different main storylines for each team. Team Sonic, consisting of Sonic, Tails and Knuckles, receive a message on paper with Eggman challenging them to foil his plans, so the whole game you follow Eggman's trail with Team Sonic. Team Rose, consisting of Amy, Cream the Rabbit and Big the Cat, are searching for Sonic, Cheese's friend Chocola and Froggy respectively. Team Chaotix, consisting of rebooted Espio, Charmy and Vector, are hired by a mysterious man talking through a walkie-talkie with a distorted voice, going through certain challenges and following clues. And Team Dark, consisting of Rouge, Shadow and E123 Omega, has the most interesting story if you ask me, because there is actually some sort of story development compared to other teams. Team Sonic, Team Rose and Team Chaotix go through missions because that is what their one end goal pushes them through all the 7 zones. Team Dark is more mysterious. Rouge is actually on a mission to learn more about Shadow after the events of Sonic Adventure 2. Shadow is a whole mystery by himself since he supposedly died in Sonic Adventure 2 and gets to see other copies of himself, and some intriguing dialogue from Eggman makes him even more confused as he is starting to question his own existence, if he is the real Shadow or not. And E123 Omega is a great E-series robot after Sonic Adventure's E102 Gamma and wants to eradicate all Eggman's robots because Eggman basically left them in the dust in one of his vaults. Sadly, the only interesting storyline does not really get a conclusion in Heroes, and at the end of the game, we still don't know if Shadow is the real Shadow or not, and we have more questions than we had prior to this game. Of course, completing all 4 stories unlocks a final story segment as expected from the adventure titles, and with the plot twist of the mysterious person who hired Chaotix to help himself was the real Dr. Eggman, and the one that taunted Team Sonic was actually Metal Sonic, who rebelled against the real Eggman and wanted to lure Sonic into a trap so he can defeat Sonic and prove he is the real Sonic. Metal Sonic transforms into a giant flying transformer. Sonic uses the Chaos Emeralds to turn into Super and gives Tails and Knuckles some sort of bubble shields instead of transforming them to their super forms. I guess you need Super Emeralds for that. Overall, stories are not all that interesting, especially compared to SA1 and SA2, which were completely story-driven games. But they are not too over the top, except for the finale with Metal Sonic. The dialogues are sometimes quite funny, quite entertaining. There are plenty of times that made me chuckle, like Cream's dialogue after their battle with Team Sonic, or Omega's in-game dialogue, for example. Speaking of in-game dialogue, the characters constantly speak with each other or just make remarks of what's going on around them. Not in Sonic Boom levels of excessive, of course, but sometimes it can start getting annoying. Most of the time though, you're not going to escape the cringe, as the game is full of cringe-worthy dialogue here and there. It's a good thing the game doesn't take itself very seriously though, so you can easily get over the cringe-worthy sentences and get on with whatever's next. Overall, the tone totally feels like the classics in a sense. The story is simple, and it is there if you are interested in that, but the main dish is the game itself, and with that, let's talk about the main dish. As I previously mentioned, the gameplay is team-based. Each team has a speed character, a flight character, and a power character, and each team's counterpart of that style plays fairly similar to each other. It's pretty self-explanatory. Speed character can run fast, create tornadoes, homing attack, wall jump, and Sonic can shadow, can use the light speed dash. Flight characters can fly and kick other characters into enemies to paralyze them, and power characters are powerful. Each stage has its set pieces fit for certain characters. The gameplay also features a leveling system for characters, not like an RPG that you constantly level up through the stages, but a level system limited to the stage. You start the stage at level 0, you get power-ups and can level up to level 3 to get more powerful. This feels extremely rewarding, especially at earlier stages where you easily overpower any enemy type, but later on it becomes more of a punishment system, because if you die, your level resets as you start at the latest checkpoint, but you have already progressed in the stage to that checkpoint you just respawned in, and now are presented with, let's say, more shielded enemies or giant metal robots because you're much more into the stage, but you have been reset to level 0, which makes it a giant chore to deal with. Being level 0 and going against those is a huge grind and is definitely not fun. You also have an ultimate attack. You fill a bar by defeating enemies and collecting rings, and once the bar is full, you can unleash your Team Blast, and these are unique to each team and definitely feel rewarding. Team Sonic destroys everyone around you, and you can do a light speed attack again and again until the bar depletes. This is especially useful against bosses, since you can just spam your light speed attack and constantly deal huge amounts of damage to a boss. Team Dark destroys everyone and stops the time for 10 to 15 seconds, which is extremely useful again against bosses, since you can stop the time and keep hitting the boss with your power character without getting hit. And in multiplayer, Team Chaotix destroys everyone and gives you rings for each destroyed enemy, which usually fills your Team Blast bar immediately again, especially in certain type of boss battles. And Team Rose destroys everyone and levels up each of your characters by 1, gives you invincibility, shield, and running shoes. There are 7 zones in the game, with 2 stages and a boss fight, team battle, robot carnival stage each, where you either fight a boss, a team, or defeat waves of enemies. I feel like the boss battles are pretty decent. The first boss battle feels fine, the second one feels a little bit rehashed and longer than it should have been, and the final boss battle is pretty fun actually, but sadly has incredibly cheap death possibilities. Team battles are pretty much a joke and are usually luck based, as you spam tornadoes and wait for the enemy team to fall off the arena. Robot carnivals I find extremely fun. You feel so overpowered as you fight waves of enemies, especially after leveling each character to level 3 or when using Team Chaotix with the endless Team Blast loop. Each team goes through the stages in the exact same order but through altered versions. Team Rose is pretty much the easy mode of the game with really short and easy stages, and that's why I actually have the most fun playing the game with. The first 3 zones are fine with Team Sonic and Team Dark, with stages around 3 to 5 minute long acts, but the later stages drag on for way too long. If a stage takes 7 to 8 minutes to complete in a Sonic game, then that is too long in my opinion. Sonic Unleashed managed to make it work with Rooftop Run and Jungle Joyride daytime stages, but those were using the boost formula that presented constant action and moving forward really fast. Heroes does not really push the right buttons when it comes to long stages. And then there is Team Chaotix with a mission-based gameplay. Except for one or two missions, I am not really a fan of this, as some missions are just absurd, like defeat all enemies or extinguish all torches with your tornado attack. Oh, you only missed one? Better teleport back to the beginning and search for that last thing you need to do. These type of missions should have at least allowed some margin of error, like defeat 90% of the enemies, and then the mission would be a breeze. The controls overall are, I think, slippery is the best word to describe it. Whenever I play this game, I feel like I'm running on ice. It's not that the characters don't stop when you want them to, they do, but the problem is they always slide to left or right, they can never go in a straight line. Even when you are hitting the forward button and the camera is not turning around, characters still slide to the side. Actually, that is the only major issue I have with the gameplay. Overall, the gameplay is perfectly fine, it works, it is fun, but this one issue causes me so many trouble that I feel like I need to use my flight type character on narrow pathways as a safety net, so if I fall with the slippery speed character, I can fly back up with the flight character. Everything else is perfectly fine, character abilities are easy to get used to and work reliably most of the time, and the level up mechanic makes every types of attack much more rewarding once you level them up. Special stages make a return and are accessed via grabbing a key and finishing the second act of each zone without getting hit, since getting hit makes you lose the key. Special stages are a full pipe this time around, and they are pretty clunky as well. The same issue with normal gameplay is present here too, but the special stages overall are pretty easy to complete, just like the rest of the game. Overall, I find the gameplay really fun if you are not playing with Team Chaotix or if you haven't died in the middle of the stage. There are no real game-breaking issues, and the game is very easy to pick up, play and leave the controller again, since it's not a story-driven game. Just jump into a stage, go through it, and go back to whatever you were doing again. I always find myself going back to this game to complete the second missions, which are usually time attacks, and I have a lot of fun with it. As for the music, just like the dialogue, the vocal songs are pretty cringy if you look into their lyrics, but they are also pretty catchy. If you are not one that thinks too much over the lyrics, they are really nice tracks. Heck, Team Dark and Team Chaotix are still among my favorite music tracks. Stage musics are great as usual, really energetic, really colorful, and that is what we expect from this franchise anyway. And everything is topped off by the amazing finale by Crush 40's What I'm Made Of. Just a beautiful song. There is also multiplayer and it is pretty decent, at least the race mode where you race through stages. Of course, if you pick Team Dark, you're a cheap bastard because you can stop time for 10 seconds, and as everyone's frozen, you can still continue moving. The team battle multiplayer is just luck based, just like single player, and how much you get thrown off by that tornado, which is completely random as far as I know. The other modes I never really cared enough to check out, as these two were everything I needed anyway. And with that, we are already at the end of this review. I hope I covered all the essentials, but if you have any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. You can also watch my playthrough of the game to see it for yourself. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Sonic reviews, playthroughs and news. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.